Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time from Jimmy, one of two requests, and it's for Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Now, this is a film that is not as bad as the fourth film. The fourth film is still the worst. But I know a lot of people like the film, they feel it's underrated, but I don't see I don't hate the film. I used to hate the film. I'm watching it again. Okay, it's not that bad of a film. The fourth film is. This one, it's not that bad to deserve a rant. It's just as I'm going along, I just kind of got over it, and I didn't really get into the story, the action scenes. I think at times they were filmed a bit incoherently, although still better than the action scenes in the fourth film where it was just let's drive through a mountain with a bunch of shitty CGI and go into CGI Gasm land. Lucas Black does alright. Very southern accented guy. But he does fine. It was interesting to see him because I remember him as a kid actor in films like Sling Blade. He was the kid at the very beginning of the first X-Files movie in 1998, where he got the black oil, possessed when fell in the hole. He was in this TV show called American Gothic with this actor named Gary Cole. I think he was on the NCIS TV show, one of those, which I haven't seen much of. He does fine. I don't think he's no Vin Diesel, he's no Paul Walker, but he does fine. Interesting to see the older kid from Home Improvement TV shows, Zachary Ty Bryan. He's at the beginning of the film as this asshole jock with his girlfriend. I mean, hey, that's the kid from Home Improvement, which I loved watching growing up. Is one of my favorite sitcoms back in the day with Tim Allen. And the way he started off was fine. I'm like, okay. Guys fucked with him. Let's do a race. Race for the girl. Playing Kid Rock. Ba with a ba the bang the bang. And I thought the way the action scene worked was fine. You're going through construction site. I think the song helped as well because I like that song. It's probably my favorite Kid Rock song. Ba with a ba the bang the bang. Great song choice. This was the first film directed by Justin Lin, who would go on to direct 4, 5, 6, and I think he did the ninth one. Maybe he did the eighth one. I don't remember. No, he didn't do the eighth one. No, that was someone else. He did the ninth one. No, to 7 and 8 was other people. Pretty much he fucks up. The jock and his girl don't get off fine because their parents are rich, but you either go to juvenile detention, jail, or you don't live with your father in Tokyo. So he takes that. So he goes to Tokyo. He mingles with the people and meets Lil Bow Wow, who becomes his friend, who has an Incredible Hulk car. Interesting enough. Although I don't remember that car really coming into play later on. Meets Sun Kane as Han, which I never gave a fuck about Han. That's why, like, oh, hashtag justice for Han. I understand complaining about within the storyline that it doesn't make sense that they be friendly with Jason Statham because, so like storyline wise, I'm like, I can understand the complaint. It's just on the flip side, I don't give a fuck about Han. I never cared. I mean, he does a better job here than he does in Bullet in the Head with Sylvester Stallone, Mr. Phone Cop. Might as well work for Cellular. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Because it's most of his fucking job in that movie. So, and okay, in all fairness, he does fine. He does fine as Han. But there's nothing in it that made me take notice. Oh, let's see where this guy's going. There's nothing that really made me go, oh, I love this character. There's really not. You don't get to know the character much in this. He likes to eat. He plays it cool. Is pretty much it. they do the drifting thing. The drifting thing was cool, but to base the whole movie on that, okay, I saw it once, it was cool. To base a whole movie on it, I don't know. I guess it wasn't that cool to me to see it again and again and again. I just, it's funny. I would say I missed the Paul Walker Vin Diesel team, but then they were back together on part four, and that was even that was worse. It's a weird black sheep of the although to me the I have this because there's $3 and Paul Walker's in it, and I bought a bunch of Paul Walker stuff when he passed away. This is a true black sheep. It's a piece of fucking dog shit. I'll get to that later because that's the other film he requested. But this, I don't know. I can't. It's hard to put into words. I just felt disinterested and disconnected. Now I love the location of Tokyo. Looks great. It's a beautiful city. Looks pretty. Some of the action scenes are decently done. Although again, some of them later on, the way it's edited felt a bit incoherent to me. Maybe by this point, I just got less and less interested with the street racing because I saw it in the first film, I saw it in the second film. When you get into the third and fourth film, it's like, okay, this is a bit tired. I can see why in part five. Let's change it up. Let's change it up. And I think that was for the better, honestly. You do have racing in it, but it's just it gets a bit old if you see it so many times. I don't care about Lucas Black's romance with this girl. Lucas Black and Han bonding, I didn't really care about that either. It's just left a feeling of not caring. Don't care about Lil Bow Wow. To me, he was a lesser version of Ludacris in the second film, or Tyrese in the second film. Cool to see Sonny Chiba, the Street Fighter himself, as the bad guy's uncle, who's with the Yakuza. Always nice to see Sonny Chiba, so that's a plus. The ending felt a bit mundane to me compared with the other Fast and Furious movies. The way Han gets killed, I'm like, okay, in retrospect, there's no fucking way that Jason Statham somehow fucking knew that the bad guy would find out that Han was stealing from him, would try to attack, they would fucking leave, and in less than 5 minutes is battling with this other bad guy. As he's driving, he gets T-boned, and somehow Jason Statham knew all this and was able to pre-plan all this. There's no way that could happen. And then Han, you see him in the fucking car, it blows up, you see a wide shot where there's no one around, so whatever bullshit they say of how he survived, there's no way that fucking happened. So again, even the whole Han dying, not Han Solo, but Son Kane dying is pointless because he's not dead. Just like in part 4, Michelle Rodriguez is dead. No, she's not, so it's pointless as well. So a big chunk of this plot is pointless, and a chunk of this plot is fucking pointless. Maybe that's unfair to say because other films have done that and you go, well, that's not pointless, but I just... Whatever. Like I said, I don't mind Lucas Black as the lead. I don't mind the locations in Tokyo. The drifting stuff, like I said, got old quick for me. The villain, I don't give a shit about. Sonny Chiba, I liked. But it's a Street Fighter, come on. As a loser leaves town race down a steep hill, they go down the race of a steep hill. Again, sometimes the action, they didn't jump out at me. He wins. Everything's fine. And then it ends with he's going to race Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel does a cameo. I read that the reason Vin Diesel did the cameo was so that Universal would help give him the rights to Riddick and then go do more Riddick movies. But yeah, that didn't work out because Riddick came out. It was a piece of shit. It was just a shitty remake of the first Pitch Black. And then no more Riddick films. You fucked it up. Yeah, I want to see another Riddick. I would be cool to see more creatures, but doesn't mean I want to see a remake of the first film. Just saying. But anyway, that's another topic. So yeah, this one, it's not a rant, just more I was disinterested. It started off strong. As it kept going halfway through, I uh, just, I don't have a watch, but if I had a watch, I'd be looking at it. I'm like, is this done yet? Is this done yet? So, this is my second least favorite of the franchise. Yes, I know people will be pissed at me, and I don't really like the film that much, but I'd rather watch Part 7 more than this. As, at the very least, Part 7 has a nice ending for Paul Walker. At the very least. Very heartfelt ending. That alone is better than anything in this movie, in my opinion. As problematic as Part 7 was. Yes, The Fate of the Furious, which a lot of people hate. I would rather watch an over-the-top, go on the fucking ice with a fucking submarine, filmed better. I would rather watch that with Tyrese and Vin Diesel and all that than this. Is that what I think has better action scenes and better characters than this? People disagree, that's fine. This one, I thought it was a lame version of the first film with not as interesting characters, not as interesting of a cast, cool location, not a whole lot else. So it's not a rant, I'm not angry about it, but I'm still not much of a fan of this movie. Just couldn't pull me in. Don't give a fuck about Han. Don't give a fuck bonding with Han. This girl, don't even remember her name. Didn't give a shit. She looked pretty. Pretty much it. Villain, don't give a fuck about drifting. Okay? I guess you think it looks cooler than I do. I don't know, it felt more low budget. I don't know why. It felt more low budget than the other Fast and Furious. I'm probably the only one that thinks that, again. But it's not the worst. Because I'll get to the worst later. So with that said, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.